Well, you know what? What about my red shirt? I don't think I've ever owned a red shirt in my life. Do you ever notice there's just some things you don't own? About 3 weeks ago, before the zombie apocalypse, I bought this shirt. I rather like it. I did a video yesterday. I did an opening. I did this video yesterday, and then I rewatched it. There's too much doom and gloom. You know what? I woke up today. It's Sunday. All my videos were already done, so I'm redoing my opening. I woke up on Sunday. It's a sunny day. It's -1. Of course, there's no one out. For those of you who have ever been to my house or around my house, there's a Starbucks at the end of the road here. I'm going to go down and get Amy something to drink, get myself something to drink. And as I said, I was watching the video. It's just too much doom and gloom, right? Listen, we all know what we're up against. We all know that the COVID-19 virus is everywhere. We see the stuff that's going on in Italy, in Spain, and the exploding cases in the U.S. So I'm going to touch on it just for a quick second. I know I said no doom and gloom. The atypical symptoms, you see all these celebrities, I got COVID-19, and then you see them in 9 days, like, oh, really, I was fine. It's really affecting older people and people with respiratory problems. There's a couple of people at our burn that, a couple of our workers that, one in particular, has respiratory issues. And I told him he was trying to go to the paddock the other day when we were qualifying the last day. And I told him no. Yeah, I'm fine. I said, yeah, you're fine until you're dead. And you don't wake up from that. So we're all trying to look out for one another. And I think that's really the best thing we can do, right? The reason I wanted to do this video was two reasons. One, I had received some emails yesterday from our clients. I just saw a guy drive by with a mask on his face. That's disheartening. I received some heartwarming messages yesterday. I posted on Facebook, for our clients and a few of you did email in and said, if anybody's having a tough time paying their bills, we're not rich, but we would help out to make sure that they know how much it is, how important it is for them to be a member of the stable and a part of the stable. So they were literally willing to pay, a smaller client's bill for a while, and hopefully it doesn't come to that, and I hope I never have to take them up on it. But man, oh man, that is some kind gesture. But as I said, I wrote Kelly an email today, and I said, listen, I know there's a lot of horsemen right now in this area that are absolutely terrified. There's a lot of grooms. I saw the looks on the grooms' faces, the caretakers' faces, that the first day after we canceled racing, I walked in the barn, and they all kind of stopped and looked at me. And I know what they're thinking. They're terrified that I'm going to say half of you are laid off and the other half have to work twice as hard to pick up the slack or whatever we would have to do. And no, I didn't have a pandemic contingency plan for the stable.ca. But I will tell you my number one plan, and that is to keep all of our caretakers and trainers employed. And that's completely reliant on all of our clients. But we have the ability to do that, and not many stables do. And I know there are a lot of terrified trainers and grooms and caretakers right now across the world. Some not very far from our farm, and I saw on Facebook people looking for jobs yesterday, and it's probably the most heartbreaking thing. So you know what we can do? Send me your stories, will you? I had a gentleman send me his email today, tell me what he did, because in my last video I'd said I don't know what a lot of our clients do. I know some are teachers, doctors, mechanics, run your own company, or whatever. Send me your stories about what the stable means to you and why it's important to continue forward, with the unknown being what it is. We're not going to race next week. We probably aren't going to race the week after. Hopefully we'll start to get back to normal at the 3 to 4 week range. I hope. But this industry is going to come under attack by itself soon, right? With depression and sadness, sorrow, anger. And I know that Woodbine's doing a video today, I guess yesterday for you, with Jim Lawson with COSA. It's important that Woodbine plays a vital and leading role here, and I believe they are. A lot of people said they dropped the ball. They didn't drop the ball. The second they canceled, they had a meeting already in place with some of the key stakeholders in the industry, governance-wise. Ontario Racing, somebody from the government, I believe, and I believe COSA was there, and Jim and everybody else. So it's easy, I've spent a lifetime being a horseman, being angry at the other side of the track, right? The racetrack, thinking they were submarining us or shortchanging us or not doing what's best for racing. But in this regard, I am solely on the other side of the racetrack, saying they have done and will continue, I'm certain, to do everything they can to make sure the horsemen are cared for. I'll be the first to admit, the second they canceled, I sent an email to Woodbine saying, listen, we employ over 40 people, many more when you count the indirect people, the blacksmiths, the vets, what have you. And our costs per week are enormous. And although our costs are spread over hundreds of people all over the world, I don't know what they do. And I don't know if they can say, yeah, we're going to continue on. That's easy for me to say. I can't say that for you. And they responded right away. We're in talks. We understand, we are the biggest stable in Canada. And we understand that things have to be taken care of, and we have to get some relief for the people in this industry, and it's coming. I know it's coming. So, on a brighter note, as I said, we're going to try and stay bright today and happy and sunny. Where'd the sun go? Come on, clouds. We're gonna try to stay sunny today. So, send me your emails. Tell me what you do on a daily basis. Tell me, why you got involved. If I don't know you specifically, why you got involved, what your take on the whole situation is, how you feel, what you want to see happen, and what you hope happens moving forward. For those of you that own 2-year-olds, it would be hard for me to believe the 2-year-old season would be compromised. We're months away from when we were supposed to be ready to go anyway. For those of you also, you're going to see in the videos, a ton of new trainers trained great yesterday. We're making some headway with some of the horses that had been the most stubborn. As I said, Brilliant Corners, trying to polish him up. He's been, he was making breaks and getting at a gear. And although he made a break again yesterday, I think we're getting somewhere with him. Carry a Big Stick, we made some significant shoeing changes on him. And although we castrated him on Thursday, I went with him and James went with him this week. And he was much, much better. GW Chrome is a horse that we had changed his gear and he was having trouble learning how to deal with the trotting hobbles. He was awesome yesterday. So there's also good news. I spoke to Curtis in a video later on. You're going to see Curtis and I have decided that if possible, we're going to bring you our 3-year-olds training and our 2-year-olds training every week if we can until this is over, because you guys are at home. You wanted the stable to keep you entertained and keep you informed and updated when you were busy. Now that you're not busy, we have to play a bigger role. I'm going to continue to put videos on Facebook because I think it's important that people have somebody to relate to. I'm an everyday person. I may have had the virus already. We all know that. That's not a silly thing to say. I don't want to get tested. My kids were sick for a week. They're healthy. My wife coughed for a week. She's healthy. I had a couple of days where I coughed. And I'm healthy now. I feel like $1 million this morning. And I hope you do too. So, what else? Send me your videos. Let me know what's going on in your life because it's important. Now, on to some good news. Okay, kind of good news. Our horses in Australia are racing good. We have one of the best fillies in the country right now. I don't think that's unfair to say. I think should be a favorite going into a big race next week if they race. Now, somebody sent me a message saying Australia's tightening their grip on what they can do. Does that mean that our fillies aren't going to race? Let's pretend they are. Today, we're pretending they are going to race next week. Girl from Oz will likely be the favorite, given the draw, how the barrier draw is, the gate draw is. And our other filly's got a shot too. I mean, yeah, she was soundly beaten by a favorite that controlled the pace and drew away from her last week, fair and square. She's a big, powerful filly, the one that beat her, but she won't get to control the pace next week. The pace will not be dictated by her or our other filly or anybody else. I'm sure it'll be a hot pace going for that kind of money in these times. I'm certain the pace will be hot, and that always opens the door for horses like Rockin' Down Under to maybe pick up some of the pieces. So I'm hopeful for that. So that's 2 horses. We're 2 for 2. They both race great. They've both taken lifetime marks in great races. Obviously, one filly's made a little more money than the other one, but they're both nice fillies in their own regard. So good job for Robbie Morris and Darren McCall. Fantastic job training the horses down and having them ready to go. I guess keeping with that, we bought 4 other horses in the sale last week. The Stable.ca secured 25% stakes in all 4. Sebastian K. filly, given the Sebastian K. filly we have here, I'm excited about that one. Even though she looked like she towed out a little bit, she was a little small, much like our filly, a little small. She doesn't toe out, but and she is a filly. So excited about that one. We obviously didn't give anything. I feel bad for Daniel's brother, his cousin that bred the filly and sold her. He ended up keeping a portion of her. I'm excited for that filly nevertheless. And then Darren McCall was head over heels. He was very enamored with the Always Be Mickey colt that he bought, and that colt sold out. Now, technically, this is why I'm saying this, is that I have suspicions that there may be some shares on the other side of the ocean available on the 2 War We Needy fillies. One I loved. I like them both for 2 very different reasons. They're obviously very, very different fillies, built totally different. Built totally different. Oh, that's better. Built totally different, and lots to offer on the pedigree side. I personally had a little bit of an affinity towards the bigger filly, although Capistrano was a small filly, and she's beautiful. The reason I'm saying this is I believe there may be shares floating around on the other side of the ocean where they're saying, well, if your clients wanted more shares, we might be able to, that type of thing. So if you're out there and you wanted to get involved with either the Needy fillies or the Sebastian K. filly, I personally believe we can probably facilitate getting some of those shares. And obviously, in this time right now when coronavirus is floating around. Yeah, buddy?
The bacon and the pancakes are all ready.
The bacon and pancakes are ready? All right, I just got to run down and get our drinks. Thank you. Amy was making breakfast. So it is a good day. Even though it's a bad day every day right now, it's a good day today. So, let's go down and get the drinks. There are some horses. There are some shares available in Australia. I guess at some point I'm going to have to leak to everybody what my master plan was to get rid of shares this year. As you can imagine, it is on hold. So, I know there's a lot of people out there concerned and worried, and I was terrified this month because I had a big personal payment to make for the stake payments. Big stake payment month is over. It's paid. It's not the end of the world. Obviously, this pandemic has thrown a real monkey wrench in what we were trying to do. Man, oh man. But every time I say that, I think of the people that were really, really hurt, right? I looked at the shares that we have available on a lot of the horses. Some of them are okay, but some of them are very, very good. And I'm certain we can still bring a lot of people into this industry. I guess we're just going to have to hold those shares a little bit longer. So yeah, in that regard, it was a little concerning, but I'm still not that worried. You know, the people that have helped me put together this plan financially are very, very good people. They understand what we were trying to do, and I'm certain they're not concerned, same as I'm not really concerned overall. I'm more let down and disappointed because I had this. Anyway, we'll talk about that another day. As I said, we're going to try and be upbeat in this video. That's why I scrapped yesterday's. I want to talk about the fillies in Australia. I want to talk about the purchases we made in Australia. I want to talk about what was going on lately. Obviously, we have some good horses. Obviously, they will race again eventually. And the good news is horse racing was the last one to close and will be the first one open. So, I guess from an optimistic person's standpoint, this is a brand new day. The one thing the pandemic did do was erase the horrible black mark. It didn't erase it for the industry or for the people that went through it and are going through it, and more will. But it did kind of push it to the back burner, right? I guess in politics that would be saved by the news cycle, as they say. And when horse racing starts back up, marketing and advertising being what it is, we should have a head start. Because people, they still will have money to go to the Blue Jays. They'll still have money to go to the Toronto Maple Leafs if they play their season, the Raptors, Toronto FC, and I'm just speaking about Ontario, obviously. But there will be that entertainment money there. There'll be less because people had to dip into that, and they'll be guarded about it. So that makes people look at how much entertainment they're getting for their dollar. It will make them do that. Should I go to the Blue Jays game on Saturday? What are my other options for my money, my disposable income? And if people truly look dollar for dollar, what is the best bang for their buck in sports? It is horse racing. Horse racing ownership, affordably done, like us. So, and this isn't a pitch to say this is how that isn't what I'm doing. I'm talking as an industry participant. I believe when all this goes away, and it will go away. When all this goes away and the dust settles, we'll be left with an opening we've never had in quite a while. I'm going to write an email about this, about two things. One, I'll touch on this quickly. I'll finish this thought, which I rarely do. I'll finish this thought and then move on. When all this stops, it will give horse racing an opportunity to market to people that will be forced to look at their entertainment options and where they're getting the best bang for their buck. And I believe, and always have believed for quite some time now, it is horse racing. So there's that. The reason I jump around is because sometimes I forget what I was going to say. Most importantly is it's that we will have an opportunity to market and advertise to people that will be looking for the most entertainment for the least amount of money. And as I said, I believe that is horse racing. So I believe the stake races, the 2-year-old stake races, it's way too early to say that they're compromised. Oh, that thought finally come back to my head. Thank God. The other thing I'm going to write about this week is we have paid a lot of money to stake horses into races that technically we're not certain are going to take place. I think given the atmosphere, the financial atmosphere on planet Earth right now, especially in North America, where governments have asked banks to defer mortgages for up to 6 months, I think it's only fair. It's only fair that our industry looks at how strapped our owners, our trainers, our clients are going to be and say, okay, if you paid your nomination fees February, March, which we did, your sustaining fees will be deferred or wiped out. Now, that money obviously can't be made up. It won't be made up. Purses for those races will probably be less. Or they can simply say, you know what? We're putting all those sustaining payments on the starting fee. That way, if you want to race your horse in it, it's going to cost a little more, but you're going to race for the same amount of money. That's what's going to happen. I think that's only fair, and to think that people are going to be able to make these April 15th payments, nomination payments for everything, is absolute lunacy. I think our industry needs to take a very quick look at what's going on. I would think the government worked quickly enough to start deferring mortgage payments. Oh, we're here. Our industry better start taking care of its own.
Hi, Bobby, with you in just 2 seconds.
I'm on hold. Anyway, I think that's only common courtesy, and listen, we could use a number of adjectives. At the end of the day, it's what has to happen. You can't possibly think that people are going to pay nomination fees on April 15th. So I'm going to write
Sorry about that. What kind
2
of
stories.
for you?
Yeah, can I get a triple venti mocha and a grande London fog?
Of course. And I got a London fog. Anything else I can grab for you today?
No, that's great, thanks.
All right, it'll be 12:43 at the window.
So there you go. Amy gets her mocha. It's Sunday. We're going to have to trim back the Starbucks too, I guess. It's terrible. Amy's going to get her mocha, and I'm going to get my London fog. Anyway, those are two very important things to talk about this week, is that yes, we're down and out, but we won't be forever. And you can be certain we need to be ready to go when racing resumes, because we will have an opportunity that has not been, and listen, this is all about taking horrible news and making something good out of it. And not having any racing is terrible for everybody, but it will come back, and it will come back before all the other sports, and we will have a head start on a lot of people looking to be entertained in the most affordable way possible. That is us. Secondly, something needs to be done about this ridiculous thought that we're going to pay nomination fees in April. I'm assuming somebody's already taken care of this. Maybe I just haven't seen the news today, or it's in the works. I don't know, but I am going to write about it, because we can't. It's not going to happen. So, so those are two things that are coming up this week. As I said, we're going to try and bring you videos. There's supposed to be rain this week. We're going to do what we can, but we're going to try and bring you videos of training the 3-year-olds. A lot of them probably in the race bike at the farm. Now, we can't go too fast at the farm. That would just be counterproductive. I'd say 2.6, 2.7, 2.5 maybe be the only. I don't want to see anybody going any faster than that. But we got to keep these horses race ready and tight. I'm working with the assumption, the belief, and the hope that in 3 to 4 weeks max, we'll be back racing. Maybe that's crazy. Maybe that's not. There's no point in emailing me, telling me John from Virginia said that, I said everybody posts all these. I did it too. Videos of doctors saying how things need to be and how things are. Nobody knows. And if they say they are, they're full of it.
Hi, no, 12:43. Do you need to try your stoppers today?
Nope.
Alrighty, sounds good.
Just need this to work. There we go. So,
There you are.
thank you very much.
Have a good one.
You too. So as you can see, here in Canada, we're still pretty upbeat. Starbucks is rocking. Still some people over at the shopping center, so that's good. And as I said yesterday, the reason it's important for us to train, somebody came in yesterday and said, why don't we just give them all a few weeks off? Well, that's stupid. People are paying us to train their horses down. It's going to be business as usual until it's not business as usual. The 2-year-olds, why would you change their schedule any? If you're saying that this isn't going to be over by June, I find that very hard to believe. And that isn't being an optimistic horseman. That's being somebody in the reality of the world. Any economy absolutely cannot stand still for 3 or 4 months. It's just not going to happen. Turned into some apocalypse movie. And when it comes to the 3-year-olds, they got to be race ready, right? What are we going to turn them out in 3 weeks and say, okay, next week we're going to go back to racing? Oh, okay, but our horses are 3 weeks away from racing? Yeah, I'm sure our clients would be super pumped about that. So when we come in and trained yesterday, we trained all the 3-year-olds a little bit, and we trained the 2-year-olds. And I'm going up on the track, and I'm like, geez, I want to make sure that our staff is safe. I can't tell them you have to come in and work. That would be beyond ridiculous. They all showed up with a smile on their face. I got there, everybody was cleaning stalls, kind of staying away from one another. We come up on the track to go at that first set. There had to be 20 cars parked there. Now, they were all, again, staying in their car, or staying away from one another. But man, oh man, it certainly made me feel good, right? That these were some of our stalwarts, some of the people that were always there were there. But a lot of people that I'd never seen or hadn't seen in a long time were there also. People that just needed a break from this insanity. Wanted to come out and watch their horses train, and we put on a show yesterday. There was some great training miles yesterday. It wasn't speed, but just getting to see. I was so, proud of our staff for showing up, because quietly, it meant a lot to me. As long as I said, they're safe and healthy. 2, proud of the horses, the way they trained yesterday. They're continuing to come along nicely. And as I said in our we'll tag on the 2s in training video that Harness Racing Update did on the stable.ca this week. And I think I made it as clear as I could. I'm getting kind of sick and tired of people in the industry not understanding why it is we operate the way we operate, why we bought horses for 20 and 30,000. Why don't we just pool people together and buy horses for 400,000? Because that is stupid. That's why. it's frustrating to me, and this is a different kind of angry. This has nothing to do with pandemic. This is just the way this industry doesn't understand why the stable works, why the model works, and why we buy horses the way we do. We buy horses to find value, and we buy horses to allow people to enter the industry in an affordable amount. That is pretty simple. Why can people not get that through their heads? It's frustrating to me that you always, and I know better from when I was in politics, or even from now, the last 5 years, to go on and read comments in some of these ridiculous sites. And I do sometimes. Somebody will send me a screenshot or something. You'll go in and just shake your head. It is hard to believe how people just don't get it. And my answer to a lot of them, if I answered them, which I won't, would be quite simple. If you could do a better job, why aren't you doing it? How's that? If you know what's so wrong with the stable and how stupid I am, then why aren't you doing a better job? So it's important to me, our success isn't fueled by numbers, isn't fueled by, the Campfella trophy sitting on my kitchen table. It isn't fueled by people saying, geez, Anthony, thanks for all you do for the industry. All that's great. I'm not going to pat myself in the back for that. My happiness is fueled from the emails, like the one I got yesterday explaining how the person who knew no one in the stable would help out with bills if anybody was really stuck. Or the person that emailed me today to tell me what they do on a daily basis. What their job is. To allow me to be a part of their life the way I allow you guys to be a part of mine. That is what makes me happy. That is what makes me feel like this is a success, because I get to share everything I do with everybody and they get to share everything with me. The community atmosphere is something that I never thought of when I built the stable. And now it is the stable, isn't it? So, we are going to try and bring you drone videos, 3-year-olds and 2-year-olds coming up this week. Curtis is going to do what he can. Hopefully he won't charge me very much. And, we'll get through this. We'll get through this together. So the reason I scrapped yesterday's video was because there wasn't enough happiness. There wasn't enough encouragement. There wasn't enough foresight. We will be racing this summer. Your 2-year-olds will race. When will the 3-year-olds and age sources race? I don't know. Hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. And most importantly, for the people out there that might watch this, we will have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Well, I guess not once in a lifetime, but once in this generation opportunity to market and advertise this sport to people that will be desperately looking for affordably being entertained when all this starts to go away. So, that is a proper opening video, not the one from yesterday. Thank you all for being a part of the stable. Thank you all for the kind emails and messages. It means so much to me, my wife, my family, our stable, our clients, our employees, our trainers. We'll continue as scheduled, business as usual. We're going to try and bring you the 2 videos a week, every week, if we can. And I will talk to you all very, very soon. Stay safe. Stay 6 feet apart. Stay safe. And stay happy. Stay upbeat. Take care.